everybody, and welcome to this workflow video on how to make, I guess not procedural, but how to have the workflow and making your own BJ looping animations, as I'm showing you right now on screen. A couple of animations I have made with this test, and you've probably already seen them on my YouTube shorts. So I'm gonna go into each one of those files and show you the workflow. Actually, I already have the workflow here. This is for a YouTube short or like an Instagram reel. You can also mess around with the resolution, however you guys want it. If you want to make it for a concert, you might want to have something more landscape wise. If you're making it just for content or something, keep it as it is, 1080 by 1920. You can add more, depends. For animating, I do MPEG 4, and I usually have a folder specialized for the output. And aside from that, let me go to my render view and I'll teach you guys how to make my own objects and what's my processes into making these objects in a bit. Aside from that, keep using Eevee, ray tracing on, filter size to 0.01. This will make it very pixelated, but you guys can change that if you want pixelation. If you guys don't want pixelation at all, that's completely fine. I'm trying to go into much more of an early CGI's 1970s style oscillographic or like whatever they made Tron with. And aside from that, this is my compositing, which this is what I use to make it more pixelated, make it more retro. There's other things you can do like distortions and stuff to make it into a CRT style, but the process of this video is to make a part 2 on how to make it CRT style with an actual CRT TV, which I'm still in the process of acquiring one, as I just recently got deep into analog video and making my own different animations and found footage and started to data motion it and making new stuff. And I felt like this was a very good entrance for anybody who wants to make BJs or BJ's video jockey animations or videos, and wants to also get into Blender. This is a good way to learn. And I just mainly want to educate people on how to do this instead of just making a tutorial on how to do one simple thing. I can teach you guys how to have a simple workflow so you guys can generate as different styles as you want and you only have to worry about the creative aspect. So let's dive around the creative aspect. So basically, I'm gonna try to make the earth one. So it's pretty simple. I just go here, and right now I'm going for more of a wireframe style. So basically, I just add a modifier, and I just generate a wireframe. And from the wireframe, I give it an emission shader. So I go to here to new, and I give it a principle to emission. I give it a strength of 4, so it's pretty bright. I take it to render, and there we go. That's pretty much what it takes. It's pretty simple, and then I can start messing around with it. Maybe add a double and put one inside, and then let's say I want to animate this. I want this to rotate. Okay, perfect. So I just go to animation, to view, item. Let's say I want to rotate it on the z-axis. Now let's rotate it by the y-axis. So I put this back to 0. And I make sure I'm in 0, and I choose as many frames as I have. Right now I have 500 frames. And I just go, make sure your interpolation for your video player is on linear, so it all goes smoothly. I go, insert keyframe, there we go, I got my first keyframe. I want this to go around it, so it's a nice looping, satisfying video, so I put 360. You also can do some other stuff like moving it and location stuff, which is pretty easy to do. I can show you in a bit. Just make sure it stays as a looping video animation. Make sure it goes from beginning to whatever you want it to move it to or scale it to, and then going back to the beginning, so you guys can loop it nicely. But it's all up for you guys' choice and what you want to be creative with. So I'm gonna move this all the way at the end to 500. We're gonna put this as 360 degrees, and we're gonna insert keyframe, and we're gonna click animate, and there you go. I got my animation. It's going pretty slow, but that's something that I can also fix up in later on. Maybe if I do something less, maybe, I don't know, Maybe if I add something more, maybe if I start scaling it. So let's scale it right now. So that's 0.62. So let's say I want to keep that number. So let's insert keyframe on the scale. And let's say at 240, 269, let's say I want this to be on the negative side. So we're going to scale it to the negative. I don't know why I'm doing this manually, but yeah, just to show you, you guys can do a lot with this. It's pretty simple and easy to do. And then we are going to insert keyframe here. Now, yep, it's going all the way in, and then it's going to go back. It's going to go, it's going to stop here. And then we're going to go the other way around. So we're going to go all the way to 500. There we go. And we're just going to take care of the negative sign. That way it's just easier for you guys to loop it around and stuff. And then after that, we're going to insert the keyframe, and then we have another full looping animation. And as you guys can see, you guys can do a bunch of stuff, a lot of pretty cool stuff. I can grab this and maybe turn this into a green, blue maybe. Just in this one, I don't know why. Oops. Add this new material and make it, yeah. And then we can do this one. There we go. And change this to emission. There we go. Make some pretty cool retro style, vintage CGI oscillators and stuff. Then it's pretty simple. After this, you guys can render the image if you just want to upload an image of it, or if you want to make a whole animation, you guys can do that. You guys can go crazy. You guys can do cubes. You guys can go and do, let's say, an icosphere. And let's duplicate this again. And let's put a modifier for the wireframe. Actually, no modifier yet. Oops. And then we go back to solids. And you guys can mess around with the... what I like to do is I like to add a subdivision modifier to get more of those vertices out. And then I apply it. And then I add a displace modifier. I add new. And then I go here and I start just messing around with what I want it to be. Maybe something noisy like that. Something very distorted. Maybe shaded smooth. Let's do something nice. Maybe something like this marble. Let's go back to flat. And actually, let's add another subdivision modifier. There we go. Then we can mess around with the strength on what we want to create. Make something pretty trippy like this. And then I want to duplicate this. And I want to turn this one into my wireframe. So we're going to add a wireframe modifier after we apply all of this. Didn't mean to do that. Not apply it, my bad. We're going to just add a wireframe modifier. And there we go. It's the wireframe modifier in the icosphere. We're going to parent this so it's on one shape. I won't have to worry about that. I hope I parented the right way. Nope, I did not. Make sure when you parent, you are parenting the wireframe modifier. So grab the regular icosphere and then parent the wireframe. So the wireframe always comes first. I hope I did that right. Nope, I didn't do that right. I don't know what's wrong with me today. That's nice, but no. Maybe it's this way. And we're gonna Control P object. If I do it wrong again, then yeah, it's on me. Because I got all these modifiers on, yep. Oh, there we go. It works now. Perfect. So we're gonna click the icosphere modifier. I think this is the wireframe. Oh, or just click on the wireframe itself. Add new principal emission and then the random number, and there we go. And that's how you can do a bunch of pretty cool trippy stuff with this, which you guys can start doing a lot of abstract organic featured figures or stuff that's like more platonic objects. That's something that I want to get into the next video, but I wanted to start with a basis so you guys can understand this and implement this on your very simple loops. Maybe start glitching them out, just something simple as I keep understanding this and exploring this. And I wanted to make more Blender videos. I didn't want to become a Blender channel myself, but I just feel like I want to go back into doing some more Blender. I saw how much my Blender's video got, but I also want to make some other type of work. And let's say we render the image. It will come out a little bit pixelated. And that's all based on you guys on the pixelation, but this is what I do for my pixelation. If you guys want to keep my own pixelation stuff, I get two transforms. I put this one at 0.250 and the other one at 4. I forgot who was the YouTuber who I found this from, but if I do find it and how it was fixed after dispersion, then I will send a link to it. And pretty much that's what I use, and then I animate it, and it comes out pretty great. Depends on what I want to animate. Maybe I want to animate the scale or just another rotation with like maybe a cube or something inside of it with a wireframe or something pretty cool like that. It just all depends on what I want to make for the animation, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a pretty short and easy video workflow. The rest of it's up to you guys on what you guys want to make for this. And yeah, I'm just gonna give you some examples of what I have made throughout this week, and I hope you guys like the video, and I will try to make a part 2 on more of the platonic objects and how to make them, and maybe from there go into more of a geometry node space, or maybe I'll go into the CRT style TV base and teach you guys about doing that kind of stuff, or maybe do something else. It's up to me. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys next week. Next time I'll try to upload more regularly now that I have more free time and I'm out of university. All right guys, thank you so much. Goodbye.